People are leaving Temecula, California, and I wanted to get to the bottom of exactly why. And so I've polled many of our sellers that have been moving out of state and moving out of the Temecula Valley, and I wanted to get to the bottom of exactly why they're moving out. So today I'm going to share with you the top 8 reasons why people are leaving the Temecula Valley and headed to other places. Thanks for tuning in today. Let's dive in. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Lewis, your local Temecula Valley realtor, and this channel is dedicated to all things living in the Temecula Valley, from new construction tours to neighborhood spotlights to new things coming here to the Valley. I want you and your family to know exactly what it's like living here before you make the move. All right, I said it. People are leaving the Temecula Valley and they are headed elsewhere. And we've all heard that. If you live in California, you're like, people are getting out of California. And so I wanted to dive in a little bit and get to the bottom of it. I actually polled many of our sellers from last year to see why they left. And we put all of that information together and really came up with everyone saying just about the same thing over and over again. And so we've got the top 8 reasons that people are leaving the Temecula Valley. I want to share that with you now. Reason number 1 is simply the affordability of the Temecula Valley. Now, I always say on these videos that people are flocking to the Temecula Valley for the affordability, but for those that have grown up here and lived here for 10 plus years, they have just seen a huge boom real estate wise, and it has caused homes to become absolutely unaffordable for those who are familiar and have lived in this area for a really long time. If you're coming from LA or San Diego area, you're like, oh, these prices are super easy. But for those that grew up in the Temecula Valley, maybe bought their first home for $200,000 here in 2012, they're now seeing a massive shift in that affordability, and it's just becoming more and more expensive, especially for those that are younger and looking to seek to purchase their first home. An average price point of $700,000 to $800,000 is just completely unaffordable to them. And so people are leaving because of the affordability of home prices, and it's causing them to seek places elsewhere. And that's honestly most of the time out of the state, because there's just really nowhere else in Southern California you can go, or any part of California really, to get that kind of affordability. And so people are actually leaving here and going on to completely different states. And just to give you a context for that, we've seen home prices rise just over 40% in the last 5 years. Now, part of that was due to the COVID boom and all that went on there to make a massive shift on it, but that still impacts everybody's affordability. Their incomes just haven't kept up with that, having them looking for other places to live. Reason number 2 is the traffic, right? You are here in Southern California, maybe you live here, maybe you don't. Traffic is a huge, huge issue and lots of congestion. And so a lot of people have left Temecula and the Temecula Valley due to the traffic. They are absolutely tired of living here, commuting down to San Diego for work, commuting north to LA, Orange County for work, and they're just getting worn out on that drive. It can be several hours a day sitting in traffic just to get to work and back. And a lot of people move here because they can have the bigger house and they trade off the traffic aspect and the long commute aspect so that they can have the nicer home for their family. But some are coming out here and realizing that is absolutely not worth it, and they're not willing to put up with all of that traffic. So people have been leaving due to the traffic and the congestion, and it's kind of losing some of that small town feel where it was an easy flow in and out traffic wise. Now we're absolutely packed with people, especially commuters, getting in and out of here on the weekdays and the mornings and the evenings, and that makes it extremely difficult. Number 3 are rising utility costs and taxes. So I know this goes a little bit into the affordability piece as well, but overall, all of these things are getting more expensive for those living in the Temecula Valley. If you live here, you know that we've seen massive increases to electricity bills as Southern California Edison, the local electric company, has shifted people over to a time of use plan, charging higher rates during peak hours, especially when people will be running appliances and air conditioners and all of those pieces. And so that has definitely increased the electric cost. In fact, electric costs have gone up nearly 20% just over the last 5 years. And so that takes, even not counting your home becoming unaffordable, but now it costs even more just to live in that home and to run those appliances and all the electronics that we have these days. So electricity has gone up, gas has gone up significantly. We had a big scare with that here just a few years ago when people were running their gas fireplaces and all that, and all of a sudden receiving these crazy natural gas bills that were you know, 30%, 40% higher than they were used to. And so those costs have risen, as well as taxes. Now, I'm not saying that the property taxes have risen for a home that they're living in. However, new construction, new things being built here in the area are coming with higher tax rates due to special assessments. So those that are looking to make a new purchase are often finding that even if they bought the same exact price home as they may have just sold here in the area, that because of the new taxes that they're going to find on the new home, that it may make it actually unaffordable. Now, there are solutions for that, and if that's a concern for you, reach out to myself and my team, and we can absolutely give you some of those solutions to work around that. But in terms of affordability, the utilities and taxes have really gotten to people. Next up is the weather. So yes, this is Southern California. This is beautiful weather here most often. But if you're living here in the Temecula Valley, we've got some really, really nice days most of the time. However, the summers get pretty darn warm here. And so people often move because of that. And so we find a lot of people, especially if weather is a concern for them, they're not necessarily picking up and leaving the Temecula Valley to, you know, get out to Kansas or Nebraska or something like that, because the weather honestly just isn't that much better in some of those areas. Oftentimes those that are leaving due to the weather, the extreme heat, are actually looking to get a little bit closer to the coast. So we're about 45 minutes to an hour to get yourself over to some of the coastal beaches here. And so a lot of those people are leaving to get closer to that, to get closer to some of the cooler temperatures during some of the summer. So not to say that we are significantly over 100 for long periods of time, but you may see a stretch of a week or two with temperatures in the hundreds during summer, and some may choose to get a little bit closer to coast to see, you know, those temperatures on the high side be somewhere in the 90-degree range. So some people are leaving here due to the heat. They're paying a little bit more money to live closer to the coast. Another reason people are leaving the Temecula Valley is due to limited jobs. So we don't have a ton of big business here in the Temecula Valley, and that is causing some issues for people. As I mentioned earlier, some people are leaving because of the traffic, and that's because they are forced to commute because we don't have the big high-paying jobs here in the Temecula Valley that allows them to work local. And so because of that, that's a flaw, and people are leaving and choosing then to go somewhere that they can find some better employment that pays a little bit better, and maybe without that commute. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're moving here from the Temecula Valley down to San Diego where those high-paying jobs are, because you're like nearly doubling your price point to get into a similar home in that area. So often what they're doing is then seeking a place to go like Texas or Florida, or, you know, somewhere on the East Coast that maybe has some bigger companies they can work for, that they can actually afford to live closer to work. And so not that, again, that people are moving closer to somewhere in Southern California. Because of this, they're actually just picking up and moving somewhere entirely different in the country to be closer to some of those higher paying jobs and cut out some of that commute. Now, Temecula is working to try to bring some of those things in. We do have a big healthcare system here. Now, it's not nearly the size of what there is in San Diego or LA, but we are bringing in some of those jobs and working to see if we can attract some more businesses that would allow people to work here and live here and try to cut out some of the commute. But that's just not happening fast enough for some people, causing them to search for alternatives. Next up is the limited nightlife and entertainment. I know I've mentioned that several times here on the channel, but there's just not a ton to do if you're coming from a more densely populated area. Again, I know a lot of our clients reach out to us about buying a home from our channel here, and you guys are coming from all over the country, but I'm gonna equate it down to like San Diego, LA for right now. So if you're coming from San Diego, you're used to a million great restaurants, a million things to do at night, catching Padres games, concerts, all of that kind of stuff. And that's just gonna be a little bit more limited when you get to Temecula. Now, I said earlier, we've lost that small town feel, but it still is a bit of a small town. You know, here in the area, Murrieta, Temecula, both over 100,000 people in population, so it's not small town in that sense, but we just don't have the entertainment. We don't even have a minor league baseball team. You know, there is one a little bit further north in Lake Elsinore, but we just don't have a lot of that entertainment and things to do here locally. Now, I am an absolute fan of Old Town Temecula, lots of good restaurants, things to do there, the Old Town Theater, you can catch a play there. You know, we have things to do, but it's just not on the massive scale that a lot of people are looking for. So if you're looking for, you know, some general things to do, a good bite to eat, maybe a local concert here and there, not Taylor Swift or anything like that. But if you're looking for something local like that, Murrieta Temecula, the Temecula Valley is going to offer some of those things and some really great community events. But if you love to go to professional football games and baseball games, and you want to eat at Michelin star restaurants, and you want all of the clubs and all of the nightlife, and you want a town that is alive and awake until 1 in the morning, it's not going to be here in the Temecula Valley. And so some people get out here due to the affordability and go, gosh, I just really wish there was more to do. And that causes them to seek out other alternatives. Again, not necessarily in that case are they moving out of state, but they do move a little bit closer to LA, San Diego, and Orange County, which are our surrounding areas. Another reason people are leaving the Temecula Valley is due to politics, right? If you live here in California, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of people just are fed up with it, and they've left to seek states or cities that align a little bit better with their politics. And now I'm not meaning to be political here on this channel at all. Let's not get into that discussion together, but the Temecula Valley is kind of a little conservative pocket of Southern California. And it doesn't mean that if you're on the other side of the line that people are throwing things at you, but it is a little more red than the rest of the state. And so some people living here are tired of the fact that their vote doesn't feel like it counts when basically the rest of California is a blue state. And so they choose to move to a different state that aligns a little bit better with some of their politics. So again, I'm not gonna get too far into this one because I don't want to start an argument here on the channel, but we often have a lot of our sellers tell us political reasons. They are moving to a state that aligns a little bit better with what they believe in. Although again, here locally, it feels like you're surrounded by some like-minded people most likely for your politics, but other states offer a statewide agreement as far as politics versus what you may see here in the area. And last but not least, some people are simply leaving to experience other parts of the country. So this is maybe a little bit more of the positive one, right? Everything else has been a bit negative as far as I'm leaving because of the home prices. I'm leaving because of the property taxes. Sometimes when we have polled our own clients that are selling their homes here locally and moving out of state, sometimes it is a super sweet answer of, I just want to experience another part of the country. And so they have moved all over the place. We've had people move to Idaho, Arizona, Texas, North Dakota, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. We even had a family move all the way up to Maryland, which is a huge transition from here. And so a lot of those were just due to wanting to experience a different part of the country. And it had really no negative effects to it. So I did want to share this last point just to say, some people leave because it's just time for a change. I actually just recently met with a family who is headed out to Wyoming, and they just wanted a completely different lifestyle than what they were experiencing here. And it wasn't because they were hating on anything within California. They realized they were going to miss the beach and miss the people and miss some of the things that they experience here, some of the nightlife and things like that that you do actually still get here or is actually driving distance for you here. And they're gonna go completely change that lifestyle, moving to a completely different state. So it's not always negative, but people do often find themselves in a stage of life where they desire to check out something just a little bit different. So that is it for my reasons why people are leaving the Temecula Valley. Everybody has their own reasons. I think you can flip each one of these cons into a pro in a sense and figure it out, right? Affordability, yes, but it is more affordable than most areas of Southern California. Taxes and costs, yes, but it comes with a little bit better weather, although it's hot sometimes, but you still can drive to the beach. There are reasons to live here, but I did want to share some reasons why some of our sellers are getting out of here. So if you live here in the Temecula Valley and it's your time to exchange your home here for something completely different, reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you. If you're looking to move here from another area, we would also love to chat with you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you would like to find out more about living here in the Temecula Valley, you can shoot us an email, you can give my team a call, you can even text us, or you can use the Zoom link below to schedule a Zoom call with a member of my team, and we will get you all of the up-to-date, accurate information you are looking for about living here in the Temecula Valley. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.